Hey, you know what? When you're in business for a while, you learn that I wish I'd have done this or that, or opportunities to come and go, and you might have been looking the wrong way, and it can make a big, big difference in the life of a business and the ability to remain sustainable. I've taken my 60-some years in business and tried to sit down a few months ago and make some notes that would help new entrepreneurs. So that's what we're all about tonight, recognizing red flags and pivotal points in your business so you'll be able to take advantage of them when they come by. My name is Steve Carver. I'm speaking to you from my home office and studio now in Dunn, North Carolina. My presentation number 1143. And so glad to have you join me on my journey into entrepreneurship. It's been going on a long time, and I appreciate the fact to be able to join you as well. Right up front, let me tell you, I'm not a lawyer or a CPA or a tax advisor. I'm just a 77-year-old fellow that's operating a business today, just like we've been doing it for 64 years. And so in that time period, we've done a lot of business with a lot of customers and a lot of employees, made a lot of mistakes, but lived through it and did most stuff right. So my job here tonight is to share with you the tips and strategies and ideas and tools that will help you not make those same mistakes that I've made and to benefit from your knowledge, and glad to do it. Always, the first piece of advice I want to give to you is before you make a major decision affecting your security, your business, your family, your financial situation, it's a good thing to talk with someone that's got some sense that'll help you, give you good advice, or at least listen to your ideas and bounce them off so that you can hear how they sound like when you speak them. And a really good place to do that is your small business center at your local community college in North Carolina. We are so fortunate tonight to have this, our first part of a 5-part series, being sponsored by the Martin Community College. That's over in Williamston, North Carolina. Home of my favorite place to go eat oysters, the Sunnyside Oyster Bar. That's always put a plug in for my friends there. But in Martin County, all righty. The Charles Banks is our director at the business center there. Charles has got a lot going for him. First of all, the ability to help you because he's been in business a long, long time. He knows what a day's work is all about. He knows how to get greasy, but he also knows how to run a very effective small business center to help all types of entrepreneurs, and has a world of contacts that he can help you with. If you're in Eastern North Carolina and have an interest in getting some free advice or counseling, give Charles a call at 252-789-0202. That's 252-789-0202. And talk with Charles about setting up an appointment, or just share ideas with him and go from there. They've got a great office there in Williamston at the community college. And Charles also has a great assistant, Deborah Hardison, really on top of the game. So if Charles isn't there, Deborah probably answer the phone and help set things up for you. So take advantage of a free resource, professional counseling, totally confidential, and you've got nothing to lose. So take advantage of that, please. Tonight or tomorrow, after our program is over, you'll get through the email a survey that gives you the opportunity to tell Charles what you thought of the presentation tonight. Just tell it like it is. The truth will set you free. And also, it would take you at least 60 seconds. So I'm really pleading with you, take that extra 60 seconds and fill the survey out and send it on in. It really will help them improve our webinar series, and you also get to tell them what you think about my presentation as well. If you signed in early enough, they have emailed to you study guides for tonight's program, and through this series you'll get study guides in advance of each presentation, and one of them have a number on them, like here, the 1143 is our presentation tonight. And if you don't print one out, that's the one to do, so you'll have something good to make notes on, because it basically will cover all the talking points that we're talking about tonight. So if you want to make notes, you can do that as well. You'll have another one, 40 drill skills, that we'll talk about later. The 7 A words entrepreneurs need to master. We'll talk about that later. Your homework challenges for the series, where you can qualify for certificates, and also a study guide to help you develop a mission, vision, and promise statement. So these are all really guides. I suggest to you set up a file on your computer and start saving these files as your business journal, because they will come in handy sometime. And I invite you to use them any way you can to help you promote your business and grow your business. This is a 5-part series, and at the end of the series, you'll be eligible to win certificates, really nice certificates, and we'll certainly be glad to send them to you. To qualify for an achievement certificate, that's attending the classes, attend all the classes. You also might be able to join the Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, and you do that by attending the classes, completing a quiz at the end of the time, and complete at least 5 of the 8 homework challenges. And there's also an available certificate. We call it the Extra Mile Certificate. Same conditions apply, except for to get the extra mile, you need to do all of the homework challenges. For any of you that's been in our other course presentations, some of these homework assignments are exactly the same, so, and you can use those completed assignments that you did before towards your certificate in this course as well. So some of you have already got a head start on this, so try to stay with us. Another advantage for you to sign in on Tuesday nights is, if you should happen to miss a class, we'll be starting up a similar series to this on Thursday nights in about a month. So if you miss one on Tuesday nights, you can make it up on a Thursday night later on in the year. Your mission, vision, and promise statements are really important. They help you get a basis to set your mindset into what your business is going to do for you and for the community and your employees. Writing the statements and using those statements goes a long way to help setting your expectations of yourself. And that is so important as we talk about this tonight. So I really want to encourage you to do the mission, vision, and promise statement. It'll come in really good when you start promoting your business and doing your websites and sending out quotes, because not only will it encourage you to be a better business person, but it says to the world in writing, hey, I'm going to run my business the right way. And when your potential customers see that you're willing to make a public statement that way, it makes a difference. Anything that you can do to lower the anxiety of a new customer wondering if they want to do business with you or not is a good thing to do, and this is the way to do it. This series we're calling it Enhancing Your Business Management Skills for More Profit and Less Stress. It's a long title, and it kind of indicates that you're already in business or you plan to be in business a long time. So we're going to take these core topics, these elementary core topics that I normally teach, and take it up to the next level a little bit to give you a greater understanding of kind of what it's like to be in business a long time. And so I know that Charles is with us tonight, our director, and he's been in business a long, long time. So Charles, I really appreciate your feedback, or if you can stay with us to chime in anytime you'd like to add a point or two. I'm not in a hurry. I may or may not finish all of our presentation. I've got a lot of slides here, but I'd rather do what we do right and take it slow. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to stop us. Or you can ask questions over in the chat board. And tomorrow, I'll save the chat information, and tomorrow I'll respond to you directly and try to answer your questions or get you the information you need. The pivotal points in business are those that are important for you to recognize when you're there. And just like when you're riding down the road, there's red flags that will let you see when pivotal points are right around the corner. And there's 3 different types of pivotal points as I see it. Earning points, learning points, and churning points. So that's what we're going to be working on. So let me invite you to get your cup of tea or your coffee or your glass of wine and lean back and just let this soak in, because it is a different type presentation. I'm sharing mindset type things with you, and I'm going to try not to be boring with it, but every point is important. And if it sinks in and you grab hold to it, then I know that it will help you down the road. the mindset we work with, every one of us get up in the morning, sometimes with a headache, sometimes just raring to go, and sometimes somewhere in between. And as a business person, as an entrepreneur, we have to move out of it's all about me mindset and say, hey, I got to get active in the world. And getting active in the world, I consider that putting on a growth mindset, which is not easy to do at first. There's a lot of stress in business, and as you get your businesses started, and again, we've got a brand new startup with us tonight with Cindy, and again, we're so proud of you, Cindy. And as you've already had a career in teaching, I think I understood you to say, but as you start a career in business, how you feel when you wake up in the morning has everything to do with how it's going to work out the rest of the day, and we have to train ourselves, just like an athlete has to train himself to put on the right mindset so that as we move out in the world, our radar is turning, it's working, it's not dead in the water. Because every minute we can keep our radar working in business, that means we'll take advantage of opportunities that are going to come along. Now, the roads don't get bumpy and rough sometimes. Man, if you're riding a dump truck, you know all about that. Even on any highway, any path of life that we take, any path of entrepreneurship, I'm going to tell you the road can get bumpy. So just saying this up front, it's okay, because it's going to happen, and you're going to have options. You don't have options. So I'm talking to you individually here. You, in the morning, get up, look in the mirror, and look at your face and tell your face, I have options. I have options, and I can back off or back up. I can turn loose, or I can start pushing forward. I can be grateful and thankful. I can grab on tight and have white knuckles. I'm holding on so tight to look for your values and hold on to them. There's a lot of roads we can take, narrow and wide, and by golly, we want to take the roads that are helping us hold on to your values and plan for your empowerment. The whole purpose for this series is at the end of these 5 sessions is you have got some ideas and strategies to help you plan for your empowerment. It's a lot more than just having a business plan. As a matter of fact, I'd say that a business plan is 30% of the challenge, and planning for your empowerment individually with skills and attitude will help you more than any business plan you ever put together. So what you're doing individually is going to be so important. Then we've got 5 sessions here. We're going to talk about our pivotal points tonight. Next week, we're going to talk about cash flowing. The week after that, we're going to dig deep into forecasting and negotiating. Next, we're going to talk about how to put a price together that will help you make a sale, help you maintain your project, but not put a price together that says take it or leave it. No, we're going to learn how to put our prices together so we can negotiate and work with the customers and take advantage of the different buying groups. And then lastly, at the end of the session, we're going to kind of wrap it all up, and then we're going to talk about preparing to do your taxes, which will be right around the corner in January, and also understanding depreciation, which is so important tax-wise to all of us. So we've got a pretty busy schedule ahead of it. So awareness factors is about seeing the signals, seeing the signs that are coming your way. And I'm going to try tonight to give you some good ideas for you to be aware of these things as they come along and see the signals in time to make them work for your business. It's a maturity thing. I've been there. I've got all these miles behind me. I'm an experienced driver in entrepreneurship, so I know this. But if you're just getting started on the road and you haven't been in business but a year or two, the things I'm going to share with you tonight, hopefully will be reassuring for you. You know, when you're going down the road, driving your car, and of course I know you're driving a Mercedes or a Lexus and not an old Suburban like I'm driving, but they'll go fast, won't they? And it's easy to get into the music and going along or chit-chatting with whoever's in the seat with you, and you know where you're going, but by golly, you'll blow by that sign that says turn here. And man, when you're out on the exits, and especially in the busy cities, if you're in the wrong lane and can't get off when you need to, then you got to go a long way to turn around to get back to where you needed to do. Those are the turning points. The turning points. And entrepreneurs have a tough time seeing the turning points before you get to them, instead of knowing, just blowing past them and never know that you had the opportunity to make a change to get there. Now, my hearts and prayers, and I hope y'all's do too, go out for all of our entrepreneurs, and I've got hundreds of them that are members of the Academy, attending my classes through the years over in the western part of North Carolina, and of course our friends in the other states too. But we've got just many, maybe as many as 100 that have really been adversely affected by the storms, and they are at a pivot point. Our hearts and prayers go out with them because those entrepreneurs are having to make some decisions that are really tough and really hard and really got a lot of challenges. So let's send our prayers and thoughts to them and help them any way that we possibly can, because by the grace of God, they're dealing with it and we are not. So God bless them all. I hope things can work out good in a hurry. Your homework challenges in this series are different than what you've seen before. To qualify for certificates and to challenge you, if you haven't gotten there, I don't really encourage you to do some YouTube video, introduction YouTube video. And Cindy, I'll mention to you, the one you sent to me today, what might be the very best one, or right up among the top videos that any startup entrepreneur has done. So congratulations to you. Create your mission, vision, and promise statements. I'd like to see some photos of you and your business and things that are related to your business. I want you to get used to making images available to your customers, and let's get them on the internet and be able to send them to customers in your email. I definitely want you to have a Facebook business and personal page. So that's one of your challenges to get that done so you can start promoting your business. I want you to study and look at the 40 drill skills that are coming to you with your study guides, and encourage you to rewrite those and tell me how each one of them will best affect your business. And then I like to, in every series, have a group of words that help us focus on opportunities and maybe working for the improvement of our mindset. So in this series, we're going to use the 7 A words, 7-letter A words to the best that we can, using some in each series, and then ask y'all to try to remember those and use those in your conversations and vocabulary to help you have a better business mindset. And talking about negotiating, we're going to do some practice in negotiating, buying and selling different items, on how to set your offers to and from. And then one of the homework challenges is for you to actually lay out a plan, a negotiating plan and outline, as if you're buying a $180,000 piece of real estate, or a $21,000 automobile. So this will be a challenge that each person will have. Also, we'll be talking about setting retail pricing. I'm going to ask you to actually take one of your profit centers in your business, or use an imaginary one, something that will sell for around $5,000. I want you to figure out how to make $900 in the sale. The fair market value on it, I've given you that at $7,000, and I want you to leave a $1,050 negotiating allowance. So this is actually asking you to listen to the lesson and then dive in and take those ideas and make them work for yourself. No right and wrong answers here. It is the exercise that really counts. So we want to find that right mindset that gets our radar up and running, so that we can have the best results. So let's just start with the first of our 7 A words. I'm saying that I'd like for every entrepreneur to master these. That is, to own them, and you will see them coming out in your vocabulary when you're talking with customers, or your way of thinking, all the way through. So through the course of these 5 lessons, we'll cover 7 words. The first one is attitude. And with talking about our pivotal points and turning points, we're not going to get there without attitude. So let's just kind of unpack this a little bit. I think that attitude is almost everything. It is so important. It's kind of like if you got a bad flat tire, you're not going to go anywhere unless you change it, right? I mean, flat tires just don't allow you to go anywhere. So bad attitudes don't allow you to go anywhere positive in business. So that's why I feel good about putting the word attitude out here to begin with. We have to learn to monitor our own attitude. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm who I am, take me or leave me, what you see is what you get. But you need to know what you're projecting out there. What is the impact of your attitude? How is it affecting your performance and your relationship and everyone around you? Because let me tell you, my friend, as an entrepreneur, your attitude is the projection of what you are and what your business is going to go. So we have to be aware of it and to do it. So I'll ask you right now. So get ready to do some typing into the chat board. We're going to have some internal messaging back and forth here. But what did you bring to class tonight? First of all, I'm glad you had the attitude, well, I'm going to give it a try and see what old Steve's up to. So apparently you've got an investigative attitude. I hope you're feeling good, a positive attitude, because that is what we're going to be working on tonight. And I'm not talking about whether or not you're hungry or your feet hurts or worried about your sweetheart or your spouse, not worried about whether you fed the dog or the cats tonight. No, we're going to talk a lot deeper than that. We're talking about attitude is everything. And listen to this. It governs the way that you perceive the world. And more importantly, it governs the way that the world perceives you. And so I can pick on Charles a little bit tonight. I've known Charles now, I guess, approaching maybe 7, 8, 10 years maybe. And Charles has always got a good attitude. There's a smile on that fellow's face, and the world perceives him as a good guy. I perceive him as a good guy. And that is so important, because there are some people in this world that I've got exact opposite of perception of that, and I bet you do too. Their general overall attitude and graciousness and pleasure to be around defines who they are, and it will define how well their business goes too. So what do you want to do? You want to have an attitude that encourages us to be self-motivated. And we don't want an attitude that's all about defeat and pity. I know some folks that every time I see them, the first words out of their mouth are negative. And you do too, I bet. Do you want to be one of those folks? Heck, no, absolutely not. We want to encourage people that are having hard times or feelings or headaches or emotional plans. We need to have our radar on so we recognize that's what's going on, and just don't let it roll down the river and never care. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And so we need to have that positive thinking radar going on so that our attitude projects positively to other folks. What happens to you is important, but it's not as important as how you choose to respond. We all have those choices. We all have those choices. It's how we choose to respond that determines how our business can be successful. So you may be asking yourself, well, Steve, here we are into this about 5 minutes, and you sound like a preacher, and I'm not a preacher, but I am sharing with you what it takes, in my opinion, to put together a winning attitude in business, and having a personal kit to work with, and to have the tools to help reward folks and to approach everything we do with a positive attitude. And it's hard. And that's why I'm here trying to encourage you to help me, help other people try to achieve this, because attitude is everything. It really is. So over in your chat board, if you have your keyboard or your phone or ever how you might go to chat, and I am seeing how some of you are giving me comments along the way, and I'm so glad to have y'all on board. Hey, Pam, it's good to have you. I hadn't seen you in a long time. Thanks for joining us tonight. I don't think you've been in this class before, so good to have you. Please type in, attitude is everything, and then under that, I'll strive to keep a forward-looking positive attitude. I'll strive to keep a forward-looking positive attitude. Please type that in. By typing it in, you start owning it. and it will be easier for you to adopt it and to own it. And that's my objective tonight. And the key words here are forward-looking positive attitude. That's what Turning Points is all about. That's what recognizing the signals for. I know now that attitude is everything, and I have to keep a forward-looking positive attitude to achieve my long-term success in business. We're going to move right now into talking about the different pivotal points. And we're going to do this because, well, just like I mentioned the folks over in the eastern part of the state, western part of the state, business people over there have got a cloudy sky. The sun might be shining in the world, but in the business world, if you're a small business owner in Asheville, North Carolina, or in Waynesville, or hundreds of other little towns over there, it's cloudy skies. They're worried, big time worried. And we need to be worried with them, because we have to be able to break out of that skies to get a positive attitude working. So that's why I'm going to ask you to do some typing here to do that. So get your fingers up, get those magic fingers up. So let's just chat a little bit. It's really important to consider the seasons when forecasting our cash flow, our marketing, and staffing requirements. The seasons. Now, is that true or false? As entrepreneurs, should we be aware of the seasons, the buying trends, the ordering trends, what we have to do? Is that true or false? It is true. It's a big truth, and especially as we're moving into the holiday seasons now. So let me ask you this. Are we forecasting? Do you know? Are you got your calendar out? Are you keeping up with what opportunities are you coming your way? How many days before Thanksgiving, my friends? You know, Thanksgiving is one of our big major holidays, and if your business is selling products related to that, as Cindy's is, you need to know how many days it is before certain dates so you can plan your marketing campaign. Okay, what's that? What's the date here? How many days? Anybody taking a guess? I guess all of you are counting your toes and your fingers, right? How many days is it before Thanksgiving? So I got a 32. I don't believe that's just right. It might be, but I don't think so. Anyone else want to chime in? Roland took a shot at it. There's Cindy's coming in with 28, 29. Well, I think it's either 28 or 29. I think that's correct. But you need to know if you're in business that's selling products. I need to know for my advertising campaigns. We have to stay on top of that and just not say, well, it's still come. It comes every year. How about Christmas? How many days before Christmas? Which is the biggest marketing time in the world, really, I guess. How many days before Christmas? You got that in mind? Well, if you're making a business plan, you need to be aware of where the calendar is, and then automatically write on, well, I don't have some New Year's activities and products as well. I need to know how many days it is. Why? Because you want to know how many ads you can run, how much they're going to cost you, what the best days are to run them are, to get them out there before the actual spending days are. So be aware of your calendar. And if you're selling time for money, that is like your business is consulting or pressure washing or house cleaning or giving seminars, you want to know where you stand on the calendar all the time. That's being aware of how many chances you have to make good choices. Now here's an easy one. I got a feeling every one of you is going to get this one right, depending on what your thoughts are. Do you like to make really big deposits at the bank? Had you rather make a $5 deposit or a $5,000 deposit? Do you want to make some big deposits? Let me tell you, it's not going to happen if you don't plan to do it. Big deposits happen only when you've got a marketing plan that helps you do that. So keep that in mind. So in 3 words or less, now here I'm going to get right in your face, describe your present mood right now. If you're monitoring your mood, what is your present mood right now? So I've asked you earlier to get in the habit of monitoring your attitude. So how would you describe your present mood right now? Here we go. There's some good answers coming in. Hopeful and determined. Thank you, Cindy. That's a good one. Pam, you got in there. Is that it? Is that right? And you know, it's okay for you to say not worth a darn. I've had a tough day. People have been stepping on my toes all day long and they hurt. You know, be honest. Because honesty, of course, will always set you free, right? Being true. And we can't evaluate where we need to go unless we determine where we are. And that's what we're talking about tonight, getting started in this series, determining where we're going to go, where we're going to go with our business and with our attitude. So, are you ready to enhance your business skills and take your awareness of pivotal points to the next level? I'm asking you to ask yourself and answer it right here on the chat board. Are you ready to enhance those skills and take your awareness to the next level? If you are, I am, and I don't work hard to help you, okay? Thank you very much. I got some yeses chiming in. That's a good thing. Thank you so much. Red flags for small business owners. Red flags mean, hey, here's a signal. I want you to be able to recognize it. That's what we're talking about. More businesses fail each year than are started each year. More businesses fail each year than are started each year. That's just the way it is. Accept it, by golly. Most people that are starting their business without sufficient collateral, credit history, a loan, they are personally financing their venture out of pocket, out of family savings. That's the fact. That's the way my daddy did it. That's the way I've done it. That's probably the way that several of you are doing it. So the reality is, and we get rid of all the Chamber of Commerce fluff that a lot of people giving webinars like to talk about, how cool it is, and if you do this and that, everything's going to be all right. I'm going to tell you that we're out here for our survival. The only difference in us and the folks over in the western part of the state is the storm came to them. They're in it for survival now. And that heartbeat of business is pumping hard. And we need just to recognize it, that it is the truth. And it is so real for people. So I am teaching tonight, and I want you to start getting a mindset for it to help you, that it is so important. It is so important that you can tell in advance that your business is headed for some troubles. There's ways to do that before it gets too serious, and that's what I want us to try to do. So, the consistent loss of revenue, big red flag, right? Not only is it a warning sign, but it's a big red flag that you need to act now and catch the problems and try to fix it before this red flag turns into a going out of business sign. Yeah, through the years, I've probably helped as many as 500 or 600 people get businesses started. A lot of that was while I was in the equipment business. I would set up lease-to-own plans for backhoes, tractors, mowing machines, sky tracks, all types of stuff. And the business was the piece of equipment. The man wanted to become a contractor. All he needed to get started was something to move material, and that was my business. I would help him get started by giving him a lease to let him go without him having to pay for everything up front. So I've seen a lot of people make a lot of mistakes, as I have. So let's say that one of the best things is you're first getting started. And I'm not trying to over dramatize this is a fact. As you're getting started and you hadn't had the benefit of years of experience, talk to someone who has. Don't feel like you've got to wing it. And that is one of the best reasons for you to be in touch with your small business center, because they are equipped and they've been trained and have the resources to listen to what you got to say. And if they don't have the answers for you, they've got a network of people that they can bring in to help you. So contact your small business center and take advantage of that free advice. Now, if you don't live in the coastal plain of North Carolina, over around Martin County, live somewhere else and want to get in touch with your small business center, just write it over in the chat board or send me an email. Where's the closest one to me? And I'll be glad to have you hook you up with the small business director that's closest to you, and they will welcome you with open arms. That's what they're all about. Absolutely. So let's be as clear as I can possibly be. You're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. I'm going to make mistakes, and it's okay. Because if you get out here and do a day's work, you're opening yourself to slipping and sliding sometimes. All of us can't be ready to go. You've got to do something here with my phone. All of us have to be ready to go and know that we can make mistakes, but it's how we react to mistakes that makes the big difference. None of us are perfect, and we're not going to be right all the time. We may think we know it all, but we sure as heck don't. That's for sure. So let's be clear about that. We'll learn from our errors. Business savvy and business wisdom must be learned and earned. You can't drink it in a cup of coffee. You can't add it to your milkshake. You can't put another layer on a sandwich and eat and become savvy and wise. But getting out here and working hard, you'll learn it and you'll earn it, and it may take a while to do it, but that's what it is. So that's where we come up with one of the pivotal points is our learning pivotal point and our earnings pivotal point. The more work you do, the more mistakes you're liable to make. So I'm just clearing the board on that right now. It's going to happen, and it's fine. So let me give you some tips now about keeping your cash flow positive. Keeping your cash flow positive. And you may know every one of these except one, and that one may be the difference that helps your business become sustainable otherwise. Maybe, in my opinion, the best way to keep your cash flow going steady and staying in black ink is to have a really good diversification of what you're offering to sell. Your profit center is being diversified so that different types of customers will come and see you all year long. The staying power you're going to find is to look at what you're doing and to have a combination of products and services. Some being of things that people want, impulse buying items, things that people want. If they got available money and they want them, that old human being in them and you and me says, hey, I got enough money to buy this today and I really want it, so I'll buy it. We need some of those products in our business. But we also need a good shelf full of things that people need. Bread, butter, bacon, orange juice, things that you're going to go to the grocery store and you're going to buy them. Tires, gasoline, heat and air conditioning, a dump truck if you're in business, that business. There are things that people need and things that people want, and I want you to have some of both in your products menu. Some of both in that menu. And I'll give Cindy another pat on the back right here. She sent me her homework in from our last course and had a great menu of products and services. So that is so important that you have a mix of things that they want and things that they need. That'll help keep you in business. Maybe you're already in business, and if so, let's just lay it on the table. Is your cash flow stuck in reverse? Well, I've been in business for 65 years. And from September 15th to about October 1st, my cash flow was in reverse. It seemed like somebody just cut the spigot off. Didn't understand why. It had a good September up to then, but sometimes it happens, things just shut down, and I got worried about it in reverse. But I didn't panic. So all of us can have cash flow problems. I'm happy to tell you that one day last week, the floodgate opened and I got more orders than I've gotten all in the last 2 months in 2 days. So if you've got a good marketing plan and you stay with your structured plan, I can tell you things will be all right. So what gets us into cash flow problems? Poor revenue forecasting. Now, I mentioned the word forecasting a whole lot because it is very, very important. And forecasting might mean that we're over forecasting how many sales are going to come in, and we spend too much money, putting too much stock on the shelf, and it ends up not selling, and we got our money tied up in inventory, and we can't pay our other bills. That is a problem. So poor forecasting is a big deal, and we will address this big time in one of our classes coming up. not staying on top of your past due receivables. If you've been in business a while and for some reason you're sending material out or labor out and not getting paid for it, that'll shut you down. That'll shut you down. And you have to really stay on top of that. I use Charles, for example. Charles is out here hauling hundreds of tons of material every day, and that's spending money on drivers and on repairs to his trucks and on tires and fuel. And by golly, that's a lot of cash flow going that away. And what you got to make sure is the cash flow is coming back in faster than it's going out. Otherwise, it'll shut you down in a hurry. So know that if you're headed in that type of business, to have a comprehensive plan to make sure your collections are going to be in good shape. If you don't have a big business and do a considerable amount of revenue in and out, this is a must. So keep that in mind and plan for it in advance. Not staying on top of your day-to-day cash flow. Now, in our bookkeeping classes that we have, I really focus on being on top of your bookkeeping day-to-day cash flow. How much is coming in? Did it get in the bank? How much did you spend? How's that flow going? How's it balancing out? Being on top of it, being on track. It takes some discipline to do that. And if you got a large business, you need to appoint someone and direct them to provide you that information daily. What we can't do, and what is done so often, is says, well, I can't afford anybody to help me with that. I'll just check my checking book balance once a month and see how it looks. That won't cut it. Be on top of it professionally. Be there. Not having a reserve, not having a cushion, operating on that thin line where you've got to bring in this dollar today to pay that dollar bill tomorrow is a tough way to run a business, and lots of us do it that way. And I know that when you're first getting started and you're operating out of your back pocket, you feel like that's your only option you have, and maybe it is. But I want you to get out of that as soon as you can. It is a red flag that if you're operating without a cushion. Unnecessary, too much inventory is bad. Maybe y'all haven't started ordering in items for your business that you're going to be reselling, but I'll give you a word of warning. Misjudging the market demand can lead to a big problem, more so than underjudging and not having quite enough material. I'd rather you have some money left in the bank than and sell out, have an empty basket. Because if you got money left in the bank, you can go find something else to sell. Than for you to spend all your money to bring in product and have it not be sold. That's a big deal. So I'll give you an example right now. The storms just hit Maggie Valley, North Carolina. And all of our fellow entrepreneurs over there, if you've ever been to Maggie Valley, about a 10-mile stretch of one gift shop and leaf shop and apple shop and this shop and seasonal things, filled to the brim. And this storm hit them just before their marketing season hit. And I imagine that every one of those stores had as much inventory as they could possibly stuck in there because they're good marketers. And then they had this storm come through and wipe them out. That's a big deal. If they had paid for it, and they probably had already got their cash tied up in that, that is a big deal. We got to guard against being in that situation, and watching what's happening over there, even though it's never happened before, should put a red flag up in front of every one of us not to get caught in that situation. Having disorganized books like mine are tonight is not a good deal. It's a red flag flying right here in front of my face. Stay organized, stay tidy, stay on top of it. Yeah, there will be times when business has flowed in or circumstances got you a little bit behind in your book work. Make it a priority to get caught up, because if you don't, you're going to miss something important. Employee management for your companies as you grow and you start adding employees, a big deal. Poor employee management puts you out of business. You spend a lot of money because you have a lot of turnover, and that's really bad. Again, failure to recognize seasonal challenges. I think from what I've seen in the last 15 years teaching these classes, is one of the largest issues that I can help entrepreneurs improve their business by being aware of the opportunities, first of all, and the challenges that come with catering your business to seasonal challenges. Because Eastern North Carolina and Western North Carolina are all about the seasons and all about the holidays as that extra amount of money. So you can have things that people need and things that people want and have it for the different seasons as they come along. And guess what? You'll have year-round good business selling those seasonal challenge type things. So give that some thought. Not doing that is a red flag. So cash flow problems. You're sitting right at your business right now. You're getting started. You've started out, you've been through the summer, you're in the middle of the fall season right now, and you've got big cash flow problems. You're not by yourself, my friends. A lot of businesses have cash flow problems, even when business is good. So here's what you do. You don't panic. You don't start doing weird stuff. You don't go out and borrow a bunch of money. You just try to calm down, think through this thing, create a plan, and let's work out of it. Consider all your options, and that's the key that a lot of times we don't do. And if you'll save this handout and save this video that I'll send you tomorrow, and you'll sit down at your desk one time in the future, and you'll be having a cash flow problem, you'll turn back to this and maybe it'll reinforce you like a daily devotional type thing. Consider your options and make a plan. So cash flow basics. There's three kinds of monies in your business. There's old money, there's current money, and there's future money. So let's just consider those individually now. What can we do with our cash flow problems? Old money. Easy answer. Collect your past dues. Put that as a top priority and go collect that money. You're not a banker. Go collect it. Figure out a way in your business that if you're getting past dues, to figure out a way to get paid in advance or early payments or some way to give you security on what you're doing, and that security may be contracts. I'll put that in. I don't have it on the slide. But depending on what you're doing, you want to have some protection that you're not going to take a hit cash-wise. If it's old money and you're having trouble collecting it with someone, if there's a chance to settle or to barter or do some trading to get your value back, you need that cash in the bank so you can put it back to work to buy items that you can start selling or to pay bills to lower your interest costs. Be willing to barter or settle with someone, maybe even discount to do what you have to do to get your money back in the bank. That's old money now. So how about reaching out to some raving fan customers? You're in a cash flow bind and you need some business right now. I don't want you to go just start borrowing money. That's the last thing on the list. Don't go start borrowing money. Sell your way into profitability. And the best way to find sales quickly is to reach out to customers you've done business with in the past and make some deals. Yeah, let me tell you, it's better to make $5 and put it in the bank than it is to hold out and make $100. Get busy, get selling, and indeed you won't regret it, because at the end of this stress period, you're not going to have a lot of debt load. So that's what I don't want you to do. Go to your established Raven fan customers and do it. And mostly, like we're getting back with that attitude thing, stay positive and keep smiling. You're making a good plan. Don't panic. So reviewing old money, collect your past dues, encourage advance payments, discount if you have to, and do some trade outs. Reach out to your Raven fan customers and maintain that positive attitude. So that was the old money. Now let's talk about current money. What you can do something about today. What's going on in business today? And that is pinch every penny. Yep, maybe you're doing just fine and you got extra bucks in the bank and say, okay, I can spend this and I can spend that. Well, can you? Yeah, at some point in time, after you've been in business a long time, you'll know what those margins are on your riverbank, what you can do to stay in the middle of the stream, and don't start making decisions that are wasting money. We can't do that. Current money, you're doing business today, get paid today. Find a way to get paid today. Get advanced deposits and payments if you're looking at long-term work in progress. Find and create credit lines. I said I didn't want you to get into debt if you couldn't have to, but sometimes things that come along, if you had some money or a credit line, you could take advantage of a great deal and buy items so you can resell them later on and make more profit on it. Having available cash or available credit lines is really important to let you sleep at night, because not only does that let you take care of future positive opportunities, which you would never do if you didn't have a positive, forward-looking attitude, but it also helps get you out of a jam when you have an unexpected expense to come along, and they're coming. That's part of life, no doubt about it. Sometimes maybe you're just so underfunded and so no collateral. Sometimes finding an investor to join you in your business is the right thing to do. If cash flow problems and being undercapitalized is keeping your business from being stable, and if you had that cash and opportunity, you've got the smarts to turn it over, it's okay to get an investor. Be careful here now. I don't want you giving up more than 50% of your business in stock-wise, but you can take on investors' money and document it with the right type of loan documents and promissory notes and get the advantage of that money without having to give up ownership of your company. Lots of ways to do that. Talk to a counselor to help you with that. Evaluate your profit centers. Know how to evaluate what's making what and what's losing what. And is this profit center, am I putting too much faith in this particular item to pull my company through the long way, long term, and give me the sustainability I need? Most of the time, with current cash flow issues, I'll say to folks that are coming to me, well, let's see what other profit centers we can add here that are connected to this so we can use those 3 magic words. So just as a test here over on the chat board, I don't want your fingers to get all stiffed up here. The 3 magic words that almost guarantee you upsells and cross sales and being able to stack your profits. What are those 3 magic words? Pamela says, Sandy says and agrees, that's exactly right. By the way, if we're adding profit centers that we can say to our customers, hey, thank you for buying this, and by the way, we've also got this, and by the way, we've also got these items, and they're all connected and they all go together. Evaluate your profit centers, see if they are helping you create, by the way, upsells. Creating upsells is the best way, the fastest way to generate more profits with the least amount of investment. Create and promote customer loyalty plans. What are you doing? What are you doing that really helps customers wanting to come back and do business with you? Do you have a loyalty plan for them? Like at the barber shop, every 10th haircut is free, or birthday cakes are free at the bakery one time a year, and that kind of stuff. What are you doing to create loyalty? What are you doing to create positive attitudes with your customers? You see where all this is coming from? It's all tied together. That positive attitude works right here with these turning points big time. Look and hook advertising is saying we're going to spend our money smartly. We're not going to waste our marketing money. We're going to spend it smartly. And the best way to get a return on investment with your advertising and marketing money is the look and hook. That is, have a look that gets people to read it. Stay with you long enough to read it. And in each ad, have a hook. And the hook is the call to action. A word or phrase or image here that encourages that customer, let's do business today, and gets them moving forward. When you're doing that in your ads, you'll be able to tell, you start this ad series today and you start getting responses that are referring back to that look and hook, you'll see if the ad's working. And man, we'll go forward with that ad. But if you're not getting any responses, that means that ad sucks, and stop doing it. So I will ask you oftentimes, I'm so proud of how well your business is doing, and you're spending a lot of money on advertising, but I need to ask you, which of your ads are working and which of them are not? Because I'll tell you, my friends, that 99% of marketing and ad money is wasted. Just blown away because people really know how to sell ads to big companies, right? But here's a reminder. It's really hard to make that profit dollar in our businesses. And that's where that money comes from that's buying ads, that hard-earned profit dollar. So we want to spend that smartly and then get a return on that investment. So we're just not going to blow it. We're going to work hard to do our advertising right to bring in the current money. And lastly, with current money, keep smiling. Have that positive attitude, because you will get places with positive attitudes that you can't get anywhere without it, no doubt about it. Pinch every penny, get paid now, take deposits, create some credit lines, find an investor, evaluate your profit centers, promote loyalty plans and Looking Hook, and stay positive for current money. For current money, that'll help you. Future money now. Looking down the road, positive thinking, forecasting down the road. What are we going to do about that? Number one, think out of the box. Think out of the box. So I'll call on Cindy again over here and recognize her work. She's opened up a new business today, and as she said, she didn't open it up till it was ready. So she didn't come in here Milly-Philly. She came in here ready to do business. Great presentation, such as that, out of the box. Now the question is, are the items that she's offering out of the box? Are the items that I'm offering something new, something futuristic? Am I forecasting what's going to be hot tomorrow? Am I getting plugged into future profits that are going to rock and roll? Or am I just doing the same old, same old? It's a new business, but I'm just doing the same old that everybody else is doing, and just hope that people will come to me. For what reason? Well, there's one reason they'll come to you, and that is you're showing a positive attitude. Maybe your marketing plan is weak, but you've got things that people need, and you've got things that people want, and when you combine that with a positive attitude, you'll get along, because hospitality and the way people feel about doing business with you is 60% of the game. But still, think forward, be forward thinking. Now, if I'm stepping on your toes here, I just apologize in the biggest form. Not. I want you to find people and brainstorm with them that are trusted and intelligent and business-minded and has your best interest. It's hard to find people that are trusted, intelligent, business-minded that will have your interest. But that's the search you need to make. And that's the search why I feel good about head towards that small business center. Head towards a counselor that makes things work. Find someone that's been in business a long time that's got enough sense that works out well. Brainstorm, share ideas, talk to them, take the advantage of that. What are you going to do for future monies, right? What can you do now to have future monies coming in later on? Find those profit centers with things people need. Find those profit centers with things people want. Think about this very seriously, and by golly, that will help you avoid those cash flow problems in the future. Target the low-hanging fruit niche markets. Man, that's a mixed up bunch of words in it. Target low-hanging fruit niche markets. What am I saying here? Look to the customer groups who are most likely to buy your products, and focus your marketing attention and your advertising investment to those people who are most likely your best customers. Don't try to be all things to all people, because you can't be. We don't have enough money to advertise to everybody. We must be everything to some people, and those some people will become your regular paying customers. But you have to put those in a group and figure out that marketing plan that targets your ads right at them. Then we'll structure a marketing plan. I call it the Golden Goose marketing plan that I teach, and it works, and I'll be glad to send you information on it. But put together a structured plan, not just something you're talking about, not just something you do one time, but something with a timeline and a budget that you maintain all the time. Month after month, year after year, it's structured. And keeping within a structure helps you stay within a budget and helps you analyze and be accountable for the money you're spending. So stay structured with your marketing plan and keep it together. Is it easy? Not to begin with, because you're starting out and you really don't know what's going to happen till you've done it a while. That's right. So there's mistakes to be made, but mistakes can be adjusted out as you go along. Be structured and go for it. Establish performance goals right now. You know what your business is, you know where you want it to go, but let's just don't talk about, hey, I hope this goes well. Let's talk in terms of, in the next 6 months, I want to do at least $50,000 worth of business. That's my sales goal. Or it might be, in the next 6 months, I want to sell at least 25 used cars. Or I want to get in the gift business and I want to have at least 20 orders a day. Or I've got my website up and running, and my goal for my website is to get at least 10 opportunities to quote per week. Put down some solid goals and then work towards seeing them true. If you don't have a goal written down, there's no way you don't know if you achieved it, especially when you put a timeline on it. So for future money, it's up to you to establish those goals and then try to make it work. And lastly, you've seen this before, right? Stay positive and smile, because nothing's going to happen if you got a flat tire. Nothing's going to happen with a bad attitude. So for future money, think out of the box, brainstorm with some smart people, get your profit centers with things that people want, things that people need. Try to target that low-hanging fruit, people you can sell quickly and easily. Put together a structured marketing plan, establish goals, and stay positive and smile. Now, another red flag that comes up, especially we hear about from the IRS, the Internal Revenue, and that kind of scares everybody. We all get nervous and such as that, and maybe we should be, but generally, since such a low level of audits are going on, indeed, you may dodge the bullet, but it's still scary, and we still need to talk about it because they are red flags, indeed. If you're in a cash business, that is dealing in cash all the time, that's a red flag for the IRS, and you're going to need to be really more particular about keeping your records straight. If your business, you're cooking your books and you're showing excessive losses every year and you can't document it, that'll be a red flag for that. They're going to want to know, well, how are you staying in business if you're losing money every year? What kind of answer are you going to give to that? Watch out for your vehicle deductions. Vehicle expenses now are really, really high, and we need all the deductions that we want, but you need to document the mileage, your logs, what you're doing with each one of your vehicles. Is it a private-owned vehicle? Is it a company vehicle? Are you driving company vehicles but not reimbursing the company? It's kind of a big deal to get you in trouble, so be careful there. Meals and introduction or entertainment and deductions, they're all perfectly legal as long as they're documented and fall within the realm of what's legal and what's not. So these two issues, vehicle deductions and meals and entertainment, I really suggest that you talk to your tax professional, and that's not me. I suggest you talk to your tax professional and get a good readout for what you're thinking about is going to work, and then move forward with good advice. Same thing applies to home office deductions. Some people really exaggerate on that. I don't tell you, you need to be able to document these deductions. And one of the ways that you can have the least amount of scrutiny is to have an outside office where that you, as an individual, lease to your business an office, and indeed the business just pays you each month rent on that property. Indeed, that rent comes to you as a taxable income, but it's a write-off for your company, so be careful with that. What you don't want to do is have a huge deduction. You can't document it because that would be a red flag. Other red flags are those strictly for startup companies. And I'm looking across the board with the people that are joining us tonight, and I think that probably all of us but one are startup companies, and so this will apply to everyone. So let's see how that looks. What is a red flag for someone that's just getting started? I can tell you that weak or non-existent business skills are like a cancer. Not knowing the basic things that you need to know and just trying to wing it or operate out of your heel pocket and such as that, no experience in other things and not studying is a big deal. The very fact that y'all are here tonight really speaks to this, and I congratulate you for doing it, because your business skills will be improved if you attend my webinars and others that are being presented, and it's a darn good reason to help you do it. So congratulations for having the vision to be with us tonight. And I know that some of this sounds like noise. You know, I listen to myself in these tapes, and I try not to be noise, but I got a lot to cover. And if you don't accept the fact that the smarter you are, the more savvy you are, the better your chances to stay in business are, then that's a good thing for you to realize. Things like management skills, people skills, product knowledge, customer service skills, and hospitality skills all are small little nuggets. Small little nuggets, like old Forrest Gump would say, it's like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get. But every one of these skills is a plus. Not having that skill in your toolbox or not being comfortable enough to use it is a big negative. So own these and start using them like the words that we're talking about, and these different skills are so important. Do you know how to create a raving fan customer? An RLC, a raving fan customer, is the biggest asset that my business has ever had, and it will be the business asset that you've ever had. And Charles Banks knows it's the biggest asset he had, because he said earlier, I need to look after the people that look after me. I need to look after my raving fan customers before I try to go over to greener pastures and make an extra dollar or two. Because the established, repeat, raving fan customers will stay with you, and they'll brag to you, because just as an example, those customers that Charles is staying with, when they're talking to other people on their line about how they're coping with shortage problems and this and that, the words that those people will say is, you know, my contractor had a chance to pull out on me and go make some big bucks, but he chose to stay with us, and I'll stay with him. That's the lesson learned. But you have to know how to create that raving fan customer. It's the things you say and the things you do, and we cover these in our other webinars, and I'll be glad to send you some information on them. Do you know how? Okay. If you don't, let's learn. Forecasting gives you the chance to have a win-win negotiation. You can forecast how a negotiation goes if you're smart. And we'll have one of our lessons in this series is going to dive real deep into negotiating and forecasting, past the basics, where you actually will start doing some exercises and learn it. Basic negotiation is important every day, all the time. And part of that is learning how fair market value works for you. So there's things that you need to know, and it's red flags if you don't know it. If you would say, Steve, I think I know what you mean by negotiating and forecasting, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure I know how it will affect my business. And I definitely can't put it in writing. Well, we need to end that. Stay with this series, and we'll give you the information to help you. New startups, big factor is, well, this is just a side hustle for me, and it's really not important. I just kind of like to do it. Something I kind of like to do. It's really more of a hobby than a business. So I'll focus on it when it feels good and just kind of drift down the river on my inner tube, and whatever happens, happens. Well, the chances of something good happening are slim if you've got that attitude. It's what I call being out of focus on making your business go forward. That is a red flag. Not thinking for the long term. Just looking at what's happening today without any consideration to the moves I make, like playing chess or checkers, or the moves I make today will have consequences tomorrow and next month. We have to start thinking for the long term. It's part of what we have to do. So you see, in all of this is a mindset. Some of us got it, some of us don't, some of us got a little bit of it. I've been teaching it for a long time, and still every day in my business, with all these things that we all have to think about, some of these factors come out with me and hit me right in the face every day. So sometimes I just have to look myself in the mirror and say, what in the world are you doing, Steve? But this is the key here. Like floating down the river, not following through. You don't create raving fan customers without following through with them. You don't create long-term customers who stay with you year after year without following through and making sure that they're happy with what you're doing. When you send a quotation out, you need to follow through and make sure they got it, because the email gets lost all the time. And customers get a quotation on their desk and maybe just set it there. We need to follow through and be hungry. Be hungry. The hungry puppy is the one that gets fed, right? We need to be hungry and proud of it. That's how we stay alive. And cutting corners, the path of least resistance. Well, I got this thing here to do, and I got this thing here to do. I don't cut the corner and just disregard one of them, because it's just more than I can handle. We all tend to do that from time to time, and it's dangerous. It is a red flag when we see ourselves doing it real often. And this is one that I deal with all the time, and maybe each of you do, is carrying the full weight of doing everything on your shoulders. I salute you for doing that. It's a big weight to carry. And to carry the weight on your shoulders alone and maintain a positive attitude is superhumanistic. And we all do it from time to time. But knowing that we're carrying the weight and telling ourselves this, not for self-pity or to feel sorry for ourselves, but a realization of, I can do this to a certain point, but I'm going to have some help along the way, either with virtual assistance or hire someone. You cannot grow your business when you're overloaded your shoulders. Maybe you can maintain, but growth is not going to be an issue. So we've got to accept the fact that if we want to grow our business, we've got a red flag flying if we're unwilling to learn how to delegate and to find someone to help us. So let me ask right now, thank you all for paying attention so well. How many of these items, have any of these items touched you? Like, as I'm presenting them, I'm thinking to myself each time. It seems like about every other slide I'm talking to myself. Are some of these factors that y'all are dealing with that you think that maybe knowing that if you focus on it and get some ideas of how to deal with it, it will help your long-term situation? I certainly hope so. How about going to over the chat? If something here has kind of rung your bell that applied to you, say so. Admit it. We're all here. There's nothing here that's going to do anything except say, I'm being honest with myself and with my classmates. We've all got problems, and we all can adjust. I mean, we all can help each other. Yes, 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 or no, 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 no. Congratulations. Because this is what my objective is to try to let you know that you're not in this by yourself. That a lot of people that have been in business for a long time, like Charles and I, we know that we have to carry these burdens, and just accept it. Just accept it and say, okay, that's a fact. That's a fact, Jack. I got it. I know I got to do it, and I'll figure out a way to do it. And when I need help, I'll get some help or get some advice. So we're in this thing together. So let's hang in there and keep it going. Now, if you have been in business and you see your staff, your employees going and coming on a regular basis, that's a red flag, because there's a problem somewhere. One, they don't like you. They don't like the boss. You're not paying enough. or maybe it's some weird thing. You just don't know. But here's a fact. You'll lose more money with employee turnover than anything that you do internally. Because not only do you get that, you spend money to find the employee, you did without them for a while, so you lost some business. When they do start with you, because they're new, they make mistakes that cost you money or cost you customers. And then they're gone, and you start all over. It's a constant red ink situation. So we have to find a way to find and keep the best employees, and we need to do it quickly. Too many employee turnover is a big red flag that needs attention right now. Being very honest, if you're in business and you're having to lie to your partners or your lenders, if you're having to just lie and make excuses or rationalizations, that's an uncomfortable situation to be in. And I feel sorry for you if it is, but I'm going to give you the encouragement right now to make the moves to make that go away. Because there's no need to lie about it. Because if you've got your business plan and you're working towards getting it straightened out, you can be honest with yourself and your lenders and other people. No, I'm not saying you need to go out here and blow everything you know out and put your dirty laundry out here for the public to see, but there's people that you need to be truthful with who will help you. That's why you need to find those folks that are willing to help you and work with you in confidence. Don't let this red flag put you under. Because when we start sweeping problems under the rug and letting them lay there, they get big. The little small issue that's swept under the rug can mushroom into a really big issue. So staying attentive to what you're ignoring will help you become a whole lot better and successful entrepreneur. If you're borrowing more and paying back less, that's a red flag. That's not a good thing. We need to do our very best to keep a balanced budget. That's why going back to square one, knowing what that daily cash flow is all about will help stop this from happening. If you're watching your daily cash flow right from the get-go, you'll do less borrowing and more paying back, and that's why it becomes more and more important to do that. If you fall behind on your taxes, especially income and payroll taxes, we need to grab on and hold on and get help and make things right. Letting these things continue, not paying your taxes on time, and especially your payroll taxes, will end up putting you out of business and maybe in jail and costing you a ton of money and keep you from ever getting back in business. So if you're having problems with these tax issues, and you know it's there and you don't see a remedy to it, put the brakes on, head and get some good professional advice and make the changes that need to be made. Do not procrastinate on this, or it'll have a big, big impact for you. No safety net, we talked about a while ago. No reserves, no plan B in case something bad happens, or a plan C. That's an issue. I'd like to see someone that has been in business for a while, and that while can be a definition for anybody, but have someone that is in business to have in the back of their mind, or even on paper, a plan B and a plan B in case something catastrophic happens, or an unexpected bill comes along, or losing an employee. Do you have that mindset to know that you need a plan B and a plan C? Our friends over in Western North Carolina, who had never had these kind of problems in 500 years, probably didn't have a plan B and a plan C because it's just never happened. Well, we know now that things can happen like that. And with climate change and in the different regions of North Carolina and the things that we have to deal with from floods and hurricanes and rainstorms that stay too long, or winds that blow all the way to the mountains, we need to have some plan Bs and plan C, okay? It's a red flag if you don't think about it anyway. Being naive and saying these little problems I'm dealing with, I really am not worried about them because I don't think it's a threat to my financial risk. Well, that's childish. That's elementary. And it has nothing to do with being a good business manager. It has nothing to do with an entrepreneur that's going to be in business a long time. You just don't discount threats. You have a risk management plan, and you have risk management tools to help you avoid major pitfalls. Okay? So if you hadn't thought about that, it's time to start thinking about it. sometimes, and you know them as well as I do, there are people out here in the world who like to tell you how smart they are. I'm the smartest person that's ever been, or I'm a great businessman, I'm this and I'm that, and they're so busy bragging on themselves or how cool things are, or how cool they are, that they never listen to anyone. They don't hear what other people are saying. That's a red flag, my friend. I want you and I to be a great listener and do less talking. That's a heck of a thing for me to say after sitting here talking 2 hours straight. But I listen to you guys. When you send me notes or when you chime in and do it, I do listen to you and I respond. Anyone that's ever been to a webinar and sent me a note, they will attest to that. But we learn a whole lot more listening. I think there's probably a reason that the Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Maybe He intended for us to listen twice as much as we talk. And when I can, I like to do that. Be careful when you're dealing with people or considering people that tell you how smart they are and how much they know all the time. How many mistakes they've never made. How truthful they are. Weigh that out, because the biggest red flag that may be in your future will be somebody that comes by with a lot of charisma and no character. And I want you smart and savvy enough to be able to know the difference and recognize it. We need to learn from our mistakes, admit it, learn from it, make the changes that we need to do. Working without a plan is not a good thing to do. We're always talking about let's plan, let's go on. If we got old or obsolete inventory, we need to turn it into cash and then put that cash to work in a positive mode. If we have a decreasing number of repeat customers, that's a red flag. Why are you losing customers? Now, you'll lose a third of your customers every year, or most businesses do. People move, they die, they go away, they find someone else they like. So we have to have something in place to create new business, to bring in new customers. So if our overall number of customers we're serving is going down, then our business future doesn't look that hot. Do you have something in place to help you create new customers? And is it ongoing, and are you planning it? If you do that, we'll get rid of that red flag in a hurry for you. Now, sometimes things that happen beyond our control. And a red flag can easily be that the market direction changed, and it's bad, and it's just not going the way my business is. Well, there's nothing you can do about the market direction changes. But the key is, had you been forecasting what was happening and making the changes with your profit centers and the way you're doing your business, then this market direction change would not affect you negatively, because you would have been prepared for it. And you do that by forecasting, okay? Plan it ahead. And we'll give you some good tips on how to do that later on. Reality check. Maybe if you've been in business a long time or a short time, whatever, if you opened up a grand opening and you really weren't ready and the people aren't getting served right, is your reputation sinking or is your reputation stinking? Either way, that's a negative. That is a big red flag, and we have to recognize it, admit it, and then take that positive attitude and start making the changes about it. Now, very much a humanistic reality check is, it is a red flag if you just keep feeling like it's time for you to move on. You're burned out, you don't like what you're doing, it's got old, you don't like your customers or what you're doing, and I'm getting burned out, and I'm just ready to move on. That happens. That's a red flag for you. It's a red flag for you to do an inspection of your inner self and what your goals are, reestablish what your dreams and goals are, and then put a plan together and make it happen. What I don't want you to do with these red flags is don't panic. Just calm down, create a plan, consider all your options, and be positive and smile and move on with a positive attitude to make the changes that need to be made. There's 8 important factors to having a mindset to give your business stability and avoid red flags. Have a passion to create something new, good, and worthwhile. Do you have that passion? Face risk head on to solve problems. Don't run from them. Find joy in creating something that's dramatically different. The dramatically different is important, but you finding the joy in doing it is more important. Find the strength and endurance, the intestinal fortitude, the 4-letter word is guts for intestinal fortitude, to encounter problems and setbacks and failures. Just know that you've got it in you, and it's good that you can handle what's coming your way. Have plans that help you get out of the ditch. Think about it. Have plans that help you get out of the ditch if things go wrong. Maintain open communications and be willing to listen. Be a leader. Strive to be a leader. Strive to motivate. But all the time that you're doing this, not in a bully way, not in a taskmaster way, but in a sense of mutual helpfulness. That's how you put together winning teams. Look forward. Look forward to the points in time when you can recognize the pivotal points and make the adjustments when they make a difference. That's the goal of this webinar tonight, to help you look forward with a positive, forward-looking attitude, see the pivotal points, and make the adjustments when they can make a positive impact on your business. Get some water. I got myself a break for some water. So let's see how good you've been listening over here on the chat board. There's 3 kinds of pivoting points. Do you remember what they are? What are the 3 different types of pivotal points that we're going to be looking out for? Got some chat coming in now. What are the 3 kinds? Well, that's not the answer I'm looking for. The 3 types of pivotal points that we're going to remember tonight after this lesson's over. When somebody asks you tomorrow, what did you do? You don't say, I listened to old Steve Carver talking about the pivotal points in business. And they're going to say, well, what does that mean? What are the pivotal points? Turning points, learning points, and earning points. Turn, learn, and earn. Okay, that's where we're going. Now we're going to see how we're going to wrap it up. The 3 permanent points, pivotal points for entrepreneurs, especially thinking about our friends over in the western part of the state and ourselves. Number 1, earning points. What are the earning points? What are we going to do about those? Learning points. What does that mean? What can we do about it? Learning points. Turning points. What does that mean? What's that going to do for us? Sometimes as you get into this and you see these points coming at you, you've got some choices to make that can either make a miracle or a mess. And almost always it's a scary situation because you're making decisions that you hadn't had to make before. It's the first time. And by golly, that's one reason I wanted to put this together, because I've worked with people all through the years that lots of times they would make a mess instead of a miracle. And it came to me saying that if they had seen this time coming and thought about it in advance, developed a plan, it would have been a miracle, a good thing. But because they blew past the turning point, by golly, it ended up being a mess because they didn't recognize it as it came. The pivotal points are, the definition is, it's a moment and place in time when you decide to make a shift to respond differently than you've been doing before. That's what the pivot points are. And whether, no matter how big or how small, they can be tremendously important to your growth and employment, the service, delivery, and freedom that you have in business. The timing is the critical feature. We handle these points 3 different ways. I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong. I just want you to be aware there's three options here. One is you see this pivotal point coming at you and you elect to just hold the road, make no change, and endure. Being steadfast, no change. Number two, you might say, okay, I see it. I'm ready for the change. By golly, I'm going to change anything and everything now to make this happen. In other words, you're going into action mode. But there's a third option, which generally I like best. But you can't take too long with it, and that is take the time to study the situation carefully. Now you know these are aware after being in this webinar, and consider what's going, and then develop a plan with a timeline. If you're looking forward with your radar and you see this point in time coming, you can use option 3, which is the one that we would probably most recommend. So something to consider. Earning points. At a point in time, every new small business will get stuck at a revenue milestone and earning plateaus. That is to say, okay, I've got my business up and running. Pam's got her vegetable growing and homegrown marketing business growing. And she can do a certain amount of money with a certain amount of acreage. She can earn a certain amount of money depending on how large her fields are. But if she wants to earn more money, she'll be at a milestone as, am I going to grow my business now to buy or rent some more property, which is going to put everything into a higher level? But if I want my earnings to increase, I have to make those kind of decisions. If I want to do more business in my company, then it's out there for me, but I have to make the decision. Do I want to double the size of my website? Do I want to double the amount of incoming inquiries that are coming into me that will force me to hire 1 or 2 employees to handle it? I'm okay with cash flow, the nature of my business. Things are paid for before I have to buy them. But there's a lot to consider if I want to take my medium-sized business and step it up to the next level. So every time that we have to make that decision, we need to do it. But here's what happens. If you don't make the decision, you won't ever grow. So take the time to think about this and how you can make it happen. And there's lots of options that way make things happen. You talk to a counselor and we can tell you lots of information. So earning points could say to you that I need to earn more revenue because the cash flow of my business isn't being properly managed. I don't have enough cash flow to make it work. We need additional revenue, and this situation brings us to new learning and or turning points. So if you see that your business has to make a change to earn more, then you're at an earning point, and then it's going to carry you to a turning point to see what the changes are. Here's the remedies for earning more. Find new ways to improve your cash flow or to fix any leaks that you've got in your cash. Increase your upsells, as we talked about earlier. Having the courage to recognize where your problems are, where they're stemming from, and make the changes. You see, if you're adding profit centers that create upsells, there's a good chance that's not going to cost you a lot of money, but indeed can improve your earnings a lot. So give that some thought with earning points. Learning points are about learning. I need to know more. And maybe you've got some of these business skills that we've been talking about that you just don't feel like I got any idea about what to do that. Now, I've got a lot of business skills that I have no clue how to address them. They're not skills that I need to use every day in my business, but I know they're important skills for other businesses. So it's important that we understand what we don't know and then make the changes that it takes to improve the situations. So it might be management skills, people skills, product knowledge, customer service skills. How do you stack up on any of these? Hospitality skills. Can I create a raving fan customer? Forecasting, negotiating. All kinds of skills that are so important, right? So now let me ask you, which of these skills, if any, would you like to improve in, that you feel like that you're not as strong as you need to be? You might say all of them, which is that's true. But I'd rather you pick out one or two that you know that you would really benefit by having a better understanding in your business of how to handle these skills if you were better at it. Thank y'all all for chiming in. This is great. It's a recognition of where we are, and all of these are places that I can improve. I can improve with management skills, even though I teach management skills. There's always room for appreciation. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you, Roland. I appreciate that. All right, how about on this slide here? Any of these? Hospitality. Do you know how to create a raving fan customer? And that's a biggie. You probably hadn't ever heard that before, but creating RLCs are important. Forecasting, major deal, and we're going to address that and negotiate. We'll address that in a week or two. Okay? Learning points. Let's learn what we need to do. What are the remedies? Choose to be a member of the tribe of smart people. I use the term tribe here as a group of people that we run with, okay? That we identify with, that we say we're a part of. I want you to say I'm a member of the tribe of smart people, because you have to make that decision sometimes. And one of the things we have to give up are associations with people that are not smart when we're talking business. Admit our ignorance where it exists. I admit it fully. And be willing to challenge our own ideas and thinking. But number one was choose to be a part of a tribe of smart people. You got to remember that high intelligence and common sense are very valuable items. And you won't hardly ever find those two attributes with people that think cheap, cheap, cheap when considering value. If you don't have room in your mindset of doing business to realize that sometimes something that costs a little more is worth a little more. And sometimes something that costs a little more is worth a whole lot more than cheap, cheap, cheap. We need to understand that to sell it to customers. We need to understand that when we're negotiating a deal. It needs to be a part of your mindset. And let me tell you, in rural North Carolina, it is so easy to get in the mindset that, as our grandfathers and ancestors taught us, cheap, cheap, cheap. It's all about that almighty dollar. Don't spend $1 you don't have to. That is not a good mindset for someone that wants to run a profitable business and make a little bit more money by selling better value, more service, better hospitality, on and on and on. The better we can move away from cheap, 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 the more the chance is that you're going to have a successful, profitable business in a long way. So the turning points in life now really come to play. And I don't go through these pretty quickly. My time's running a little bit short, but I'm still going to cover them for you. If I go a little bit over, I apologize. If you have to leave, I'll understand that. But the turning points and pivotal moments have a big way of affecting what we do, and they can transform our lives. So some of these may be right out of your playbook. But you got to remember, we're going down the road. That turning point is right in front of us, but we miss it. We just miss it. We didn't know it was coming. We weren't on the lookout for it. And my purpose tonight is to say, stay on the lookout. Keep your radar on, because they're important. And these turning points are coming your way right now if they had never come. And when this happens to you, it will make you want to make changes. Maybe you just graduated and have earned a degree, a certificate, and you want to apply it now. That is a turning point in business. If you are several years or several months away from this happening, so that you don't have to make a rash decision when you get the degree or whatever, that's good. Think about it in advance. Turning points that hit us sometimes right between the eyes, or a marriage or a divorce, can make a difference in where you're going with your business and how it's going to end up, how it's going to shake down. Sometimes reading a book can affect us in such a way that gives us a turning point. I teach a lesson on the dream manager for employees. And I taught a lesson at a small business center in eastern North Carolina about 12 years ago. And the director of the small business center sat through the webinar or the seminar, listened to it. And lo and behold, in about 3 weeks, she called me up and said, Steve, this book that you taught your lesson on is a life changer, and it's changed my life. I've decided to move to California and pursue another career because of this book. That's how important it is. That book is The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly, and it is huge. It is great. It costs you about $12 on Amazon. It is a life changer for the way we make decisions. So I know that books can be turning points. Maybe you'll hear a certain sermon that ring your bell in church. I mean, you sit there all these years and the preacher preaches sermons, but this day it made a difference. This day it made a big difference and changed your life. Maybe you're searching for a job. Maybe you got a boss change and it is making a difference. People very seldom quit their job, but man, they'll quit a bad boss in a heartbeat. So turning points in life can make a difference. Maybe you had a life-changing experience, like a bad wreck. I had one of those, and indeed, it was a turning point in my life, no doubt. When you realize that, hey, I'm not guaranteed another moment, therefore I'm going to live the rest of my life doing this instead of what I've been doing, sometimes it will make a major impact on your business, and that's just fine. Just recognize that it's here and why you're making decisions, and then make the decisions with good, sound, fundamental judgment, the items that we've talked about earlier, instead of going into it unprepared. Sometimes a health event, a heart attack or a stroke can make a big difference. Sometimes a military enlistment or a discharge can make a big difference in what we're going to do in business in the future. Having a loved one, someone that's important in your life, to die. And then just sometimes just bad news out of the blue from Murphy. This makes a big difference like that. Or a hurricane that goes through the mountains can make a huge difference. Those are turning points, no doubt. Maybe you're retiring and ready to change your field, just ready to start anew. That's the turning point. Make it in advance if you can, but know if you're going to be retiring in the near future, be thinking about it, put a plan together. COVID-19 was, wow, a huge turning point for hundreds of thousands of businesses. New products coming out. Hey, you've heard about or see this new product coming out, and you say, man, I want to sell those. I want to be the dealer for that. I want to get a distributorship for that. That can make a big difference for you. You got to have your radar on to see that. You got to have a positive attitude to consider it. And then you're talking with your friends and neighbors, and you see customer demands changing. Your radar was on good, so you see, hey, there's a change going on here. People are moving from this to this. And if I don't be a part of that in business, I need to be aware of it and consider it a turning point and then make the changes to make it happen. Maybe you're underfunded in your business. Maybe you're missing sales. You say, this ain't going to work. I need to make some changes. Maybe your job in the business has got you in a place that you're not performing very, very well. You're working hard, but your performance just ain't cutting it. That happens sometimes. Could be age, could be your boss, could be your products that played out. Whatever it is, recognize it. And you're at a turning point, be willing to make the changes before it's too late. And then, I'm just a duck in the chase. It's just time for me to move on. That turning point is coming at you at some point in time. It's just time that I'm ready to move on and do things on my own. I want to fly away. I want some freedom. It's okay. But plan it with a plan. Keep your act together and move on to a good way. So how do you know that those turning points are right around the corner? There's some GPSs to help you know that they're coming. Be ready to get on the curl of the wave. The business development here in that business management planning is recognizing that you're either on the front of the wave and going to ride it for a long time of profitability, or the wave's already passed you by and you're just floating and getting ready to sink. Be that business development thinker. Evaluate whether or not that you are providing a real value to your customers. Not just something frivolous that really doesn't count, but are you bringing in a real value that you're proud of and they'll stay with you to keep you in business? Are your products good quality, excellent quality, the best quality? Now here's a secret that I like to tell to new business people. If you're choosing the products that you want to sell or the services you want to sell, but mainly the products, if you can go with an established product that has a good marketing campaign and already a loyal customer base, a decal, a logo, a trademark that people recognize, costs more money, but they recognize it, and it's a good one for you to try to get because that product will normally sell itself. And you'll have customers instantly who are willing to pay more money for it. And when they're paying more money, there's a good chance you will make more profitability. But there's three kinds of customers out here now. There's those that buy cheap, those that let you make a little bit of money, and those that pay the advertised price. We're going to put ourselves in position for all three customers. That'll be one of our webinars in this series. Pricing your products so you can take advantage of sales from all three different customer groups. Are you targeting marketing for your best customers at low-hanging fruit? And do you have items that customers want? And do you have items that customers need? What do customers want, though, from you? Preparation, simplicity, creativity, loyalty, accessibility, accountability. There's some of your A words coming in. Are you willing to have selling skills, or do you just want to put a price tag on it and say, take it or leave it? We're going to teach you how to say, let's do some talking. We're not going to do take it or leave it. So those awareness factors is what this program's been all about. Being able to read the signals and know where they're coming. Now you know what the turning and the learning and the earning points are. Let's start trying to see them coming before we get there. There's a good chance there's good times ahead as we can take advantage of that. Maybe this is your first business plan, first employee. You need to find a mentor. You need to find that training course that helps you improve your skills. Let's find those new doors for opportunity, opportunities for individual introductions. That's a big thing for turning points. And receiving the money that you need, the capital you need to expand your business. That's what we want to be aware for and try to get there. I want you to have the wonderful realizations, hopefully as Cindy has tonight, that you worked hard, you planned well, you got your business started. All this work and your idea has turned into a business. That's a good thing. It's turned into a business, and now you're ready to push forward, and we're so happy for you. Seeing your dreams come through to reality. Put your marketing to work for you so you can reach your goals and reach your customers. Find those selling skills to help you sell the products you need. Get the product mix for diversification and enjoy the peaks and valleys to turn on your radar. Turn on your radar tonight, and let's move forward with that positive attitude. Get rid of the cloudy skies. Bring in the sunshine. It's never going to be no worries, but it can feel pretty good when that sky is blue and the wind is nice and the sun rays are coming in. Have you got a developed marketing plan? Let us help you put one together. The key is keeping your eyes wide open and your brain in a recognition mood, your radar fine-tuned. If you don't recognize the turning points in time, you'll miss the opportunity forever. So that's why we're doing this webinar tonight. And I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it, because finding that turning point at a critical time will make a major difference in your life. There's going to be bumpy roads ahead. There's a lot to do, lots of turns to watch out for, but using these skills will help you out a whole lot. So, back to square one. Bumpy roads may be ahead. Look in the mirror right in your face and tell yourself, I have options. And you do. You can back off and back up. You can turn loose, push forward, be grateful and thankful. Grab hold tight, hold on to your values. Talk with a trusted soul friend. And lastly, plan for your own empowerment. So thank you for staying with us tonight. I hope that you will join us the next 4 Tuesday nights, and we'll dive into this stuff a little deeper. I'll give you some good exercises and a lot of information. God bless you all and your families. Now, I'll mention to you on Thursday night, we'll be wrapping up a 7-part series that we've been working on, and you'll be welcome to join us on Thursday night for some taxes, and also see what a bunch of great entrepreneurs, including Cindy, who's with us tonight, see what they have done during the last few weeks to get their businesses started. We recognize them with certificates. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care. I'd like to hear your comments. Turn your mics on and tell me what you think, or share any comments that you have.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
Well, hello, Pamela. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yes,
Good.
I just want to let you know I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you joining us tonight. And stay with us. I don't think you've had the benefit of these classes that we're going to be doing for the next few weeks.
No, I haven't. This is the first time I'm hearing these.
Good. Well, take care.
All righty. You too.
All righty. Thank you so much. Charles, would you like to close us out if you're still with us?
Appreciate you.
Hey, Roland.
Yes, I said too. Thank you so much. You make.
That's good, Charlene. Thank you. We appreciate you being with us and hope you'll join us each time.
Absolutely. You make it seem so easy and smooth.
Well, that's what I try to do, but I know it's not easy. But we'll keep working at it until it comes natural.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, you empowered me from that last class. I just want to share with you with the negotiation skills, because I struggle in that part too. And when you said you just come out and say, hey, is that the best you can do? And
That's
that was
right.
like an aha moment for me.
Yes, indeed.
I never said that.
And the class that we're going to do in a couple of weeks on negotiating and forecasting, we go into it deeper. That'll really empower you a lot more.
That was awesome, because that's what I needed. I just was always stuck. What they said, I was like, okay. But when you gave me that, you gave me something to push back with and say, hey, well, is that the best you can do?
That's
Is
right.
there something else you can work out? You know, and that's what I needed.
You'll make more money with that. I call that the Sampson County poor mouthing move. And it makes a lot of money for a lot of people.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and I will see you Thursday.
All righty. Thank you. Okay, everybody. God bless you and your families. If you're riding along, find inspiration somewhere. Not a thing wrong with praying about your business situations. Be still and just think about it and remember that you can give your problems to Jesus, and He'll help you carry the load, or wherever you find inspiration, I encourage you to do it. Good night. God bless you. Hope to see you next Thursday. Tell your friends and neighbors to join us as well, and y'all take care.
Have a great night, Mr. Steve.
Okay, Charles. Thank you so much.
Great class and info as always. Definitely looking forward to the next one.
Thank you, sir. And
absolutely.
All right. Good night.
Good night now. Bye-bye.